My child, I beg you, don't do this mistake again. I am talking about a mistake that is being repeated by you again and again, and it's enough now. I told you your body is the temple of my spirit, and I am seeing that you are not taking care of your body. My child, I beg you, don't do this mistake again. I am speaking now with the weight of eternity in my voice, with the tenderness of a father who has seen too many silent tears and heard too many quiet cries. The mistake I speak of is not something hidden from you. It is the very thing you continue to repeat despite my gentle warnings. I have spoken to you in your thoughts. I have stirred your heart in the quiet hours of the night. I have shown you signs, sent you nudges, whispered through others, and even allowed consequences to touch your life, not because I was angry, but because I love you. Because I love you more than you have yet understood, more than you have dared to believe. I told you before, and I say it again now, your body is the temple of my spirit. Not a metaphor, not a poetic image, but a sacred truth. I designed it with care. Every cell, every nerve, every breath crafted with intention. I knit you together, not just in form, but in purpose. I made you in my image to reflect my nature, to walk in light, to radiate peace, to be a vessel of glory. Yet you treat this holy creation as though it is disposable. You feed it what destroys it. You exhaust it with worry. You neglect it through indifference. You give it to things, to people, to habits that were never meant to have dominion over you. And then you wonder why you feel so far from me, why your prayers feel dry, why your joy is fleeting, why your peace is fragile. My presence cannot fully dwell in what is willfully defiled. I am not absent from your life, but you have built walls around your heart, walls of indulgence, of shame, of fear, of pride. I want to break them down, but I will not force myself where I am not welcomed. I am not here to condemn you, but to rescue you from yourself, from the lies you've believed, from the habits you've allowed to become chains. I have called you to be holy, not through striving, but through surrender. I am not asking you to be perfect in your strength. I am asking you to be honest in your weakness, so that my strength can be made perfect in you. When I see you turning again to the things that have already harmed you, I do not turn my face away in disgust. I move closer. I grieve, but I do not abandon. I see beyond your behavior. I see the pain that drives it, the fear that feeds it, the silence that surrounds it. I see the emptiness you try to fill with noise, with activity, with distraction. I see how you run from rest, not because you don't want peace, but because you are afraid of what will surface in the silence. But my child, I am not in the whirlwind of your busyness. I am in the whisper. I am in the stillness you avoid. I am waiting there not to shame you, but to heal you. You were not created for slavery to appetites, to substances, to opinions, to patterns of destruction. You were created for communion with me. You were created to walk with me in intimacy, to carry my presence like a living flame. Yet you settle for flickers of light when I want to consume you with fire. You reach for fleeting pleasures when I offer eternal joy. You compromise in the name of coping, not knowing that what you reach for is robbing you of strength, clarity, and freedom. I do not want part of you. I want all of you, not because I am possessive, but because I know that only in full surrender can you truly be free. I see how you punish yourself for your failures. I see how you carry guilt like a shadow. how shame whispers to you in the dark. I never asked you to carry shame. That is not my language. Shame cripples, but I came to restore. Guilt may warn, but grace redeems. And I have grace for you more than enough. More than your history. More than your relapses. More than your doubts. You are not disqualified because of your struggle. You are a candidate for my glory because of your humility. I draw near to the brokenhearted. I lift up the humble. I do not reject the contrite. When you fall, cry out not in despair, but in hope, because I am the God who lifts the fallen, who binds up the wounded, who restores what was lost. You may feel like you've gone too far, but I tell you now, you are still within reach. My arm is not too short to save. My love is not too fragile to endure your failures. My mercy does not expire when you fall again. But I need your honesty. I need you to stop pretending that all is well while you wither inside. I need you to stop numbing what I want to heal. I need you to stop hiding from the light, because it is only in the light that healing begins. I am light. In me there is no darkness at all. When you walk with me, you will no longer need to hide behind masks, or silence or excuses. You will be free. I want to show you how to honor your body not out of vanity or fear, but out of reverence. I want to teach you how to rest, how to breathe, how to live fully. I want to teach you to listen to what your soul needs, not what the world demands. I want to reintroduce you to the joy of simply being with me, being whole, being known, being loved. You were not made to live fractured. You were made to be whole. The world will pull at you from every direction, but I call you to stillness. The world will shout its opinions, but I will whisper my truth. The world will offer escape, but I offer freedom. Come back to the garden, my child. Not a place, but a way of life. A life where we walk together in the cool of the day. A life where shame has no voice. A life where you no longer need to strive for worth, because you are already mine. Let me be your healer, not just your helper. Let me be your source, not just your safety net. I want to be your everything, not because I need your worship, but because you need my presence. You cannot thrive apart from me, just as a branch cannot live without the vine. Stay connected to me, and you will bear fruit, not just good works, but peace, joy, clarity, strength, wisdom, wholeness. You may be asking how to begin again. It begins with a yes. A small yes from a sincere heart. Not a promise of perfection, but a willingness to let me lead. Start by returning to me in quiet. Lay everything down. Bring me your confusion, your fear, your addiction, your exhaustion. Bring me the part of you you've hidden even from yourself. I will not be surprised. I already see it, and I love you still. I will walk with you step by step. I will not rush you, but I will not leave you stuck. I will break the chains you've grown used to. I will renew the places that have grown numb. I will awaken your spirit again. This is not just about your body. It is about your entire being. I want all of you, whole body, mind, and soul. You cannot separate the parts of yourself and expect to be well. I made you as one being woven together with purpose. When one part suffers, all suffer. But when I restore you fully. Trust my process. Trust my timing. Trust that I am working even when you don't see it. trust that nothing is wasted, not even your mistakes. I can use all things for good when you surrender them into my hands. Let me make beauty from ashes. Let me write a new chapter. Let me show you what redemption truly means, not just a second chance, but a transformation. I have never stopped loving you. I never will. My love is not based on your performance. It is rooted in my nature. And my nature is unchanging. You are not what you've done. You are who I say you are, chosen, redeemed, set apart, beloved. This is the truth that will anchor you when storms come. This is the truth that will steady your steps when temptation whispers. This is the truth that will heal the lies you believed for too long. You are not alone. I am with you. I always have been. Even in your darkest hour, I was there. Even when you ran from me, I pursued you. Even now, I call you by name. My child, listen closely, for what I am about to say is not only truth, but it is life. I speak not in riddles, but in clarity. I speak not to frighten, but to awaken. I speak to you because I love you, because you are mine, because your days are known to me, because your purpose is not random, and because your soul, yes, your soul is of infinite value to me. You have heard my voice, not once, but many times. Not always in thunder, not always in dreams, not always through others, but in the still moments, in the stirring of your heart, in the unrest of your conscience, but in the quiet ache that follows a poor decision, in the heaviness that presses after disobedience. I have been faithful to speak. I have never been silent when you sought me with sincerity. I have never failed to send warnings before danger. My love does not permit me to remain idle while you walk toward harm. I send signals, gentle at first, a whisper in the night, a check in your spirit, a scripture you stumble upon by no accident. And if you do not heed, I raise my voice, not in anger, but in urgency. But I must tell you this, my child, because I do not lie. Ignoring my warnings has consequences. You may think you can walk in your own wisdom and still find the same protection, but you are wrong. My warnings are not empty threats. They are not commands rooted in control. They are signs along a path that leads to life. To ignore them is to drift further from safety, deeper into the hands of things that do not love you. I see where each path leads. I know where compromise ends. I see the snare hidden beneath what looks harmless. And when I say stop, I say it because I know what comes next. I am not reacting. I am revealing. You believe sometimes that you can manage your choices and control their outcome. But you forget that while I give you the freedom to choose, you do not have the power to avoid the consequences of those choices. That is why I intervene. That is why I warn. Because I would rather see you temporarily uncomfortable in correction than eternally scarred in rebellion. My love is not passive. My love protects. My love convicts. My love disrupts your illusions so that truth may be seen. But when you harden your heart, when you explain away my signs, when you call your own way freedom, you open the door to storms that I tried to shelter you from. I have warned you through people, through a parent's caution, a friend's concern, a stranger's words that pierced at just the right time. Do you remember? That conversation you couldn't forget? That message that felt like it was meant just for you? That moment when you knew deep inside you were being called to turn back, to walk away from what you were about to do, It was me, and yet you silenced it. You chose to believe you had more time, that just one more time wouldn't hurt, and that you could repent later. That surely I would understand. I do understand. I understand far more than you know. I understand how dangerous sin is. I understand how deceiving compromise can be. I understand how your heart can become dull if you ignore my voice long enough. I understand how the enemy wraps chains in silk and calls them freedom. I understand how darkness can slowly blind a soul that once saw clearly. And so I speak now not with mild suggestion, but with divine urgency. Stop ignoring my warnings. Every time you dismiss my guidance, your heart grows harder. The voice you once heard so clearly becomes faint, not because I speak less, but because you are listening less. What once grieved you becomes tolerable. What once felt like conviction now feels like inconvenience. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself calling good what I have called evil, and calling evil what I have declared good. This is the danger of ignoring my voice, not just the external consequences, but the erosion of your discernment, the silencing of your spirit, the deadening of your soul. There is still time to turn. That is why I speak now, because the hour is not yet too late. But do not presume on time. Do not gamble with grace. Do not think that just because I am patient, I will always withhold consequences. My patience is long, but it is not eternal in the way you think. There comes a time when I release you to the path you insist on walking. Not because I abandon you, but because I will not violate your will. I will let you see where your choices lead, not to destroy you, but to bring you to the end of yourself, that you might finally look up and find me again. But oh, how I long to spare you from the pain. How I long to protect you before you fall. How I long for you to trust that I see more than you see, that I know what you cannot yet know. I see the brokenness behind that relationship you keep returning to. I see the loss behind that habit you say you can control. I see the isolation that follows your decisions. I see the erosion of your joy, the dulling of your soul, the torment in your mind. I see it all. And I speak not to control, but to cover. When I say do not go there, I say it because I have stood in your tomorrow. When I say turn around, it is not because I want to burden you, but because I want to bless you. But if you ignore my voice, if you persist in your own way, you will feel the weight not of my wrath, but of natural consequence. You will cry out, not because I punished you, but because you walked past every sign I placed in your path. My heart will ache with you, but I will not remove the lesson. Because sometimes it is only through the pain that you finally understand the cost of disobedience. You may not see it immediately. That is the deception of sin. Sometimes the consequence is delayed, so you assume you are safe. But what you sow, you will reap. It is a law I put in place not to trap you, but to teach you. If you sow to the flesh, you will reap corruption. If you sow to the Spirit, you will reap life. This is not punishment. It is principle. And I will not violate what I have established. My grace is real, yes. My mercy is vast, yes. But my holiness is also unchanging. I cannot bless what I have called sin. I cannot reward what I have warned against. You say, but others do it, and they are fine. Do not compare yourself to others. Their path is not your path. Their consequences may be hidden, or delayed, or different. You do not know their end, but I know yours. I have called you to walk in a way that is narrow, not because I want you to miss out, but because I want you to live. Broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the path that leads to life. Few find it, not because it is hidden, but because they refuse to listen when I say, "This is the way, walk in it." You have cried out to me before, asking for guidance, asking for clarity, asking for direction, and I have spoken. But when my answer does not match your desire, you treat it as silence. When my warning interferes with your comfort, you call it too harsh. When my conviction unsettles your heart, you accuse me of not understanding. But I know you better than you know yourself. I see what you do not, and I love you too much to stay quiet when danger is near. What I ask of you now is simple. Listen again. Slow your steps. Be still. Let the noise fade so you can hear my voice again. Let go of your stubborn insistence that you know best. Open your heart to correction, and receive my rebuke as a gift, not a curse. Blessed is the one I discipline, for it proves they are mine. I correct those I love. I confront those I have chosen. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. If you will humble yourself, if you will turn from your way and return to mine, I will restore what was lost. I will renew your vision. I will heal what was broken. I will redeem even the time you wasted. Nothing is too far gone for me, but the first step is yours. I have done all that is needed. I have paid the price. I have made the way clear, but I will not force you to follow it. I wait with open arms, but the decision is yours. Do not wait until the damage is done. Do not wait until you have burned bridges, lost years, and wounded your soul. Listen now. Heed the signs. The same voice that warns is the voice that heals. The same God who convicts is the God who comforts. I am both lion and lamb. I roar to awaken you, and I whisper to lead you. Will you come? My child, there is a peace I long to give you, but it will not come through rebellion. There is joy I want you to taste, but it is not found in compromise. There is freedom I died to give you, but it is not within the chains you keep reaching for. Let me show you a better way. Let me lead you beside still waters. Let me restore your soul. You do not have to earn my love. It is already yours, but you must respond to it. Love without response remains unfulfilled. I stand at the door and knock. If you open, I will come in. But if you ignore the knock long enough, the sound fades beneath the noise of your own choosing. And one day you may no longer recognize the knock at all. That is what I want to spare you from, not just danger, but numbness. Not just loss, but spiritual death. Awaken, my child. Awaken from the sleep of indifference. Awaken from the dream of self-reliance. Awaken from the illusion that you are in control. You are not in control. But I am. And I am good. Trust me again. Return to your first love. The one you knew before the world dimmed your light. I am still here. I have not moved. My voice still calls. My hand still reaches. My heart still yearns. And if you say, "But I am afraid of what you'll ask me to leave behind," I say this: what I ask you to leave is nothing compared to what I want to give. I will not strip you for the sake of emptiness. I will cleanse you for the sake of fullness. I will not take your idols to leave you barren. I will remove what enslaves you so I can fill you with what satisfies. Listen to me, my child. The signs I've given you are gifts. The conviction you feel is proof of my nearness. Do not silence it. Do not despise it. Let it lead you back. Let it guide you home. There is still time. There is still grace. But the window will not stay open forever. Choose me now. Choose life. Choose truth. Choose freedom. You will not regret it. You will only regret the delay. I love you with a love that will not give up. But love gives choice. And now, my beloved, the choice is yours. Amen.